headwind, steer, headwind, steer, headwind, steer. Tailwind, steer, tailwind, steer, tailwind, steer.
And hello, fellow aviators. VREF Summer here. Welcome to this Friday night flight. Almost Saturday morning. I guess it depends on where you're at. But we are up in, well, it was rainy Minneapolis. Now it's not quite as rainy, but you can see the clouds are still pretty low. The runways are drying off, and we're getting ready to head up on an NHL charter with Coastal Airways flying the Florida Panthers to their second game of the season against the Winnipeg Jets tomorrow afternoon. And this flight actually occurred in real time earlier this morning. You can see there's our beautiful MD-88 bluefin, and they've got the bags all loaded up. All the equipment managers, they did a good job of getting everything packed where it easily fits in the bin on our Coastal Airways Mad Dogs. Just finishing up a little bit of the pre-flight and such. So I'm going to go ahead and hop into the cockpit again. And we're just doing a little bit. I'm going to let the music continue to play, and I'll just finish up the pre-flight, and then I'll be checking back in with you all in just a minute once we have everything set up. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. If you have any questions, feel free to chime in the chat. Looks like Shelton Ponder, good evening. Thank you. I'm doing well. I hope you're doing well also. For the rest of you tuning in, we'll just, like I said, we're just going to keep doing the pre-flight here in just a minute. I'm going to put up our completing pre-flight. That's what we're doing. So just finish getting everything set up. I think I'll talk you all through it while we're doing it here, just so we're on the same page, and then we'll brief. Typically, I like to do most of this stuff before I even start the stream, just to keep it moving along, but got a little behind. And we actually had one of our other charter aircraft here at Coastal Airways flying the New York Rangers tonight from Buffalo to Columbus. So Jason, one of our other captains, also the CEO here at Coastal, he just completed that flight and landed there. All right, so I just started getting everything kind of set up here. I actually need to put in our performance numbers here for Minneapolis. One of the nice things about this Leonardo Mad Dog is that we have a wonderful EFB included, which has been very helpful and handy because you can get all your performance numbers here. And looks like we're taking off on the 1-2s today. I hope we get 1-2 right. Yeah, you can see the rain started back up again. Marco Girati. Good evening, morning, viewer. Thank you. Good evening, good morning to you also. Thanks for checking in here this morning, evening, wherever you might be. It's actually going to be morning where I am in about 2 minutes, so just in time. All right, we'll punch in our winds here. The one thing is you got to get all your weather ahead of time if you're going to be using this EFB, which is no problem. I just went to aviationweather.gov and we'll check that out in just a minute. I think you all will be able to see it. I recently upgraded to 4K, so I've noticed a lot of the windows are a little smaller or more a higher resolution than they used to be. So I'm still working on that, but I think we'll get it sorted out. All right, Shelton, love being a passenger on Coastal. Yes, sir. Well, glad to have you aboard and glad to have you up here on the jump seat for this charter flight here. All right, so it looks like off runway 12 right. I just write down a lot of these performance numbers on my scratch pad so I have them handy really quickly if I need it. So flaps are going to be at 7. Our assumed temperature for flexing is going to be at 50. And then our V speeds are 32, 38, and 147. And then I also like to write down these maneuvering speeds here with the flaps. Flaps saying it's at 152, V-slats 184, and you can see our clean maneuvering speeds all the way up at 227 knots. And it typically takes a little while to get up to that speed in our climb out. So I keep this heading bank limiter to 15 degrees up until we're well above those maneuvering speeds. And typically I leave it there till we get above the clean maneuvering speed, which is going to be 227 knots today. Alright, I'll just click the bugs there. That's all set. And I just need to set in our V2 speed here in the speed bucket window. So 147 is set. And get these flight directors on. So the scenery I'm using here today is a freeware from flightsim.to for Minneapolis, St. Paul, and it works pretty well. I mean, it's better than the default. I do get it gets a little laggy for me for whatever reason when I've been using it, but hey, it's a freeware. I love it. It's great to have that. All right, we'll just go through here. We'll check our flight instruments. Our altimeter setting is a 29er. Looks like boarding has just completed in the back. We have all the Florida Panthers on board and their coaches, everybody. So that is good. And let me get this. I have to do 2 little swipes there. Check our fire loops. Check that the
Fire left engine.
sure this works.
Fire right engine.
Fire bell cut off.
Fire
It works. Now let's check the other loops on the B. Already done some of the checks, but not all the checks. Alright, let's get the fuel reset done. Test system A, test system B. Zero fuel weight is 101,900 today, so we'll roll that into the zero fuel weight window. Getting that in here. There we go. 101,950, that'll work. Test this. We're doing takeoff flex at a select of 50. And since we are flexing, we're going to need to turn ART to off. So we got that done. Alright, I'm going to head back down here. We're going to get the CG, like we saw in the FB there. For takeoff, it's going to be 20.8. So I'll roll that into the selector window here for the CG. And our flap setting, like we had said earlier, is 7.0. Let me see if I can get it's a very touchy wheel here. There we go. Alright, then I typically test the trims, make sure it works both ways on my yoke. Also with the handle here. Also with this other. You have multiple ways to set the trim on the MD-80, which is nice. Check our takeoff configuration warning, and then also roll in the flap takeoff selector to our setting of 7.0. Alright, that's all set. While I'm over here in this window, I'm going to go ahead and flip on our hydraulic pumps. Let's get that rolling and go ahead and test the brake temperature monitors. There we go. And already have our radios all set up. We're squawking 1527, which is per our PDC we received from Minneapolis. They were online when I started this flight. I don't know if they will be when we actually leave. And there's crossfeed. Yep, it's all open. Alright, last but not least, we get to load the flight management computer. Jason checking in. What's up? Not much. Getting ready to get this Mad Dog up in the air. That's what's going on. And as you know, I'm a late night flyer typically, so this is the time of night I usually fly. Just glad to be streaming it tonight. Alright, so here on this ident page, we're just making sure we have the right model, right engines, and that their nav database is current, which it is. And I'm just going to flip in the Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport. Get their position updated. And we're actually going to Winnipeg, which is Charlie, Yankee, Whiskey, Golf. I have never flown to Winnipeg, so this will be a first for me. I know Jason flew the Florida Panthers there last year, and I believe it was extremely cold and snowing when he went, if I remember correctly. Alright, so I've got the flight release up on my EFB, my actual, I have a real EFB that I'm using. It's just a Surface tablet. But, so you all can't see it, I'm sorry, but that's what I'm building this route off of. So we're going out to Fargo and then Hotel Mike Lima. I do not know my Canadian VORs. And Litna. So I'll type that in. And now we pick up the arrival into Winnipeg, which is the Pepno 3. Let me check that out. Departures, arrival, Pepno 3. Yes, with the Litna transition. And I do not know what runway we're landing on yet, so we'll deal with that in the air. Just get this moving. I'll execute that. Perfect. Zero fuel weight, like we said, is 101,900 pounds, so very light aircraft, which they typically are on these charters. Nice thing about that is we get great performance. Fuel-wise, we're planned at 21,700. We do have 21.6 on board, so we needed 20.4 for takeoff, so we have plenty of fuel on board. So I'm going to go ahead and punch that in here. And slant alpha. And then our reserves. I have an alternate right now. It's looking like the visibility might be going down in Winnipeg a little later. And so reserves are going to be our alternate plus our FAR reserve. That's going to be actually 10.1 because our alternate had to be quite a ways out. So we'll have some tanker fuel, it looks like, for the flight. The next leg is going to be Winnipeg to Newark, which I'm probably flying that Sunday night. I may or may not stream it. It really just depends on how much time I have to set up stuff before the stream. Okay, we're going up to flight level 340 for our cruise today, and light winds up at cruise. we're still couple months away from getting the really strong winds down here in this part of North America at cruise. So just 34 knots. Isodeve is at -1. And transition altitude is still 50180. Perfect. Alright, so for our V speeds, like we said, V1 is 132, VR 138, and get that correct. And then V2 is 147. That is all set in the airspeed indicator also. Alright, typically I'll keep the legs on my side and then have the takeoff speeds over on the FO's side. Alright, that's everything. It looks like, Jason, you're saying you iced up the windshield when you landed. Yeah, that sounds exciting. I could see something like that happening a little later on in the hockey season. I guess that's going to be one of the fun things about the hockey season is we get the lovely Canadian weather. Alrighty, I'm going to go ahead and let's brief up the approach, or not the approach, but the flight. I do not know if you all will be able to see this very well, but I will attempt. I'm going to pull up the screen on my, that might be extremely small, and I apologize. Like I said, I just upgraded to a 4K monitor, and it's changed all of my settings. But currently at Minneapolis, let me update this. Might have updated. Yep. Currently Minneapolis winds are 050, 15 gusting to 22, so pretty gusty winds. Be about a 70-degree offset from the runway, 12 right. 10 miles visibility. Scattered at 1700, ceilings at broken at 3900. Temperature of 8, dew point is 6. So we don't get icing conditions until it's 6 degrees Celsius or below in the Mad Dog. So we shouldn't need any anti-ice for takeoff. Altimeters are 3001 now. So let me get that set on our altimeters in the cockpit, because we had an older altimeter setting at 2999. So 3001 is set and cross-checked. And it's kind of marginal VFR on the forecast the rest of the day. Up in Winnipeg, winds are 010 at 4, so probably landing to the north. 15-mile visibility, few at 4,000. Temperature 4, dew point 2, 3031 on the meters. So pressure will be rising quite a bit as we head up. And in the forecast, it looks like winds 010 at 8, plus 6 miles, scattered 2,000. Temporarily, could have few clouds at 500, broken at 2,000, and getting a little foggy as the evening progresses. So we do have that alternate of, what is this? I'm not even sure what that airport is. CYQT. Let me type it in here. So CYQT, it's VMC conditions the whole day, so that's perfect. Let's take a look at the weather charts really quickly. Convective SIGMET wise, there's nothing up in this area. It's pretty nice. They've just had a lot of just rain showers all day here in Minneapolis. It was raining and extremely windy when I came in last night to Minneapolis. Looks like we just have an icing, moderate icing from the freezing level up to 22,000 feet. Nothing else. So we'll probably be getting the anti-ice on in the climb out more than likely. Surface analysis. There's just a low pressure system to our south, occluded front to our south, but high pressure all up in this area, and we definitely saw from the altimeter setting that it continues to climb as we head up into Manitoba and Winnipeg. METARs, it's a good idea to check this out just to get an overview of where you can turn if you have a problem where the weather is going to be good. And it looks like typically the farther west we go, and even north, the better the weather is getting tonight. Pyreps, just an icing. Looks like light icing. The B-20 at 12,000 feet. So I reported that just a little while ago, but we will get over that. And then the radar. Looks like all that rain's over toward where Jason just went into Columbus, and especially up to the north. but nice between Minneapolis and Winnipeg. Rain has moved out of the Minneapolis area. All right, well, that's all I have for that. So I'm going to take this window down, and we can actually kind of brief off of the EFB and the aircraft, I believe. So let's do that. Electronic flight folder will pull up your release, which is really nice. But you can see we are flight 5800 on 497 Charlie Sierra. That all matches up. And we already briefed our weather and the arrival and also the alternate. It's a good legal alternate. No NOTAMs that will affect us today. I went through those before the flight. I will spare you all the briefing of all of those. No MEL items on this aircraft. It actually just underwent an A-check before we started this charter trip for Florida. So it's been looked over pretty thoroughly before this flight. Weather's already briefed for our taxi route here. I'll pull up the Navigraph charts. I should have had that for you. Stand by. This will come in handy, because I have it loaded on my EFB, but it doesn't naturally translate over to the flight simulator Navigraph app. Okay, there it goes. Alright, so for our taxi out of here, we are... You can see where we are here on the map. So we're planning to go to runway 12 right. More than likely we'll exit Whiskey 6, left turn Whiskey. And we do have a hotspot of 1 there. I think we gotta go to the 10-9 Alpha to actually read the hotspot description here. Let's see. It's typically on the 10-9 Alpha. Yep, there it is. So hotspot 1. Complex geometry at the intersection of taxiways Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, Hotel, and runway 422 and runway 12 right intersection, requiring caution for runway crossings in this area. Alright. Duly noted. And I am fairly unfamiliar with this airport, so I'm going to be looking at these hotspots in a little more detail. That's important, especially when you're unfamiliar with an airport. Alright, so another threat, we're going to have to cross runway 4. We'll make sure we get clearance to cross and we check that it's clear. And then also we have a hotspot 3 here, so let's head back to that 10-9 Alpha page. Hotspot 3, taxiway, runway geometry, and traffic flow. So I guess it has proven confusing in the past for pilots, just due to the layout here. So we're going to be heads up. We'll make sure we have the airplane all set up before we start our taxi, just so we can be heads out the airplane. All right, once we get to runway 12 right, we have 10,000 feet of runway, plenty available. We already went through the speeds. Our flap setting will be at 7, like we said. Standard abort criteria, so below 80 knots we'll reject the takeoff for a variety of reasons. At or above 80 knots only for engine fire, severe engine damage, inability of the aircraft to get or stay airborne, or wind shear. And then if we do lose the engine after V1, we're just going to continue straight out to 3,000 feet back around to land here in Minneapolis. We have plenty of runway. We'll deal with the problem in the air and come back. Clearance-wise, we are flying the, let's see, it's the Brew 1. And it's squawking 1527. Minneapolis Center was online. I'll have to check to see if they still are or not. But the K-Brew 1 arrival off of 12 right. They're going to assign us a heading, it looks like. And then we have to, we got vectors out to Gopher. Yep. And then Herbeck, Homer, K-Brew at about 14,000. Our PDC had us climb via set except maintain 7,000. So I do have 7,000 set in the window. And so we'll likely be heading mode at 400 feet, whatever the air traffic controller assigns us. And then I'll go VNAV at flap at acceleration speed at 1,000 AGL. Alright, so after we get to K-Brew, we're going out to Fargo, and then from there it is Hotel Mike Lima, and then Litna, and then we're on to the Pepno 3 arrival. This is a fairly short flight. So Litna can be Pepno. We'll verify these windows later. We're going to have to figure out exactly what runway we're landing on. Right now it has us set up for the Metsa, Gabru, Avsun, Durav, which is runway 13. I do not believe we're going to be going on runway 13. but we'll set that up in the air. Total distance in the flight management computer is showing 410 nautical miles, and on our release we were planning 407, so it looks like we have everything set up well. All right, well, cool. Did you all have any questions? If so, speak up in the chat. Otherwise, we're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna get the APU started, their generators switched over, just to make sure that we don't lose all our power and lose all our stuff we've been doing here. I'm just gonna go ahead and flip all the fuel pumps on because we're gonna get out of here pretty quickly. So we'll get that started up. Yeah, it's pretty gray and scuzzy here because this is 10:38 in the morning. This is 10:38 a.m. and it looks this dark out, which is it's a testament to how thick the clouds were in this rain system that went through. But just waiting on the APU to fire up. Let's head outside real quick. Let's take a look at what it looks like here. Looks like we still have the aft stairs down. We'll go ahead and get those closed. There we go. Yeah, I've had it happen before where I didn't catch that the aft stairs were down, started the engines, and it will not let you bring them back up in this aircraft until you shut the engines down, turn the beacon off, and you gotta go through that whole cycle, which is not good. Obviously, it wastes a lot of time and fuel. Alright, there we go. We got our APU online. I'll go ahead and get the air on, and let's go ahead and get the external power disconnected, and we're going to run through our before start checks. Ready to roll. Got everybody in the back. Flight attendant said they're all good to go. They've already checked in up here. We'll go ahead and close the door so we don't have to listen to everybody. Got our anti-collision light on. Flip our bleeds off. We're going to need all that air for our engine start. And so we got that. We're going to need ignition B. There's our PSI is up now. Perfect. All right. Before start check, 0 fuel weights. Set. Takeoff condition computer. Set. Stabilizer trim. Set. Actually, I need to move it down just a smidge here. There we go. Stabilizer trim set. Flap takeoff selector is 7-0 set. Airspeed bugs and TRP set. Fuel and pumps. We have 21.6 on board. 20.4 required. Pumps on. Doors closed. Hydraulics on high. Before start check complete. We just had a message from ATC. Let me see what he said. He's probably getting offline if I had to take a guess. But let's see. I'm closing up here. Your departure will be on your own. Monitor 1228. Have a great flight. Okay. Well, thank you, sir. So we'll switch over to 22.8. That's the one downside to flying late at night, like I typically do, is it is very rare to have ATC coverage in this part of the world. But however, I used to do some flying over in Asia on Flight Sim at night, and then you get all the coverage you want. So. Alright, well, let's go ahead. Let's start up engine 2, then 1. And I've got the ACARS set up with coastal, so we're being set. Okay, here we go. Starting 2, then 1. Start our timer there so we can monitor our start timer. And 2. Oil pressure. So waiting on our max motoring of 20%. And 2. Alright, there's max motoring for the fuel end. We have fuel flow, EGT. Alright. Those of you who have been flying along with Jason, you probably know this engine start sequence like the back of your hand. So there's our 40%. It's a starter cutout. We throw it off. And we have our EGT stabilizing. So we'll go ahead and start 1 now. Here we go. And 2. Oil pressure. Alright, 20%. It's our max motoring. Fuel flow. EGT. It really does not take long to start these engines. The Leonardo, Mad Dog, which is nice. There's our 40%. Let's get the starter cut out. And we're stabilized. Alright, let's go ahead and get everything set up here. Let's check our engine generators. They all look good. Let's make sure they swap over like they're supposed to. Perfect. Fill the APU. We do not need to waste that fuel. We have a 10-minute limit on ignition, so I'm just going to turn it off. We'll get it on before takeoff. Get our supply bleeds back on. We do not need anti-ice since we're at 8 degrees. Let's get this up. Let me check our flight controls. Which I love that this is a check you really do have to do when you have all like the honeycomb alphas and rudder pedals, because I have caught many times where they weren't connected properly, so it's a good thing to figure that out before you're trying to lift off the runway. Just like in real life. Alright, get those down. We need to set flaps to 7. Alright, perfect. Alright, let's do before taxi check. Air conditioning panel set, pitot heat, and ignition is on. Ignition's off now. Anti-ice, standard, engine instruments, check. Flight controls free, flaps and slats, 7.0, TO set. Transponder TARA pneumatic crossfeed closed. Before taxi check complete. And I'm going to turn on the track IR. Alright, there we go. Okay, we are clear, right? Other than we have a weird GSX Pro thing, over like a stair or something over there. So I think what I'm going to do is probably taxi. Yeah, we got to take our right, don't we? Alright, we'll take our right. We'll get around that thing. Actually, I can take a left. Here we go. We're clear to the left, so we'll go to the left first. Looks like this didn't catch. I see the... Not sure why the brake ABS is not setting itself. That's weird. Auto brake, is it something wrong with it? That's weird. If y'all see something, we have our flaps set, right, for takeoff. We have, it should be letting me set it unless it's failed on me. See that? I wonder if we have auto brake failure. Alright, let me turn off the, we're burning a lot of fuel right now. That's the other bad thing. We'll turn off the nose light really quickly. Well, apologize for that, because sometimes you do have, is this even something that will fail on this aircraft? There you have a lot of failures. And Jason, or if anyone's still watching, if you've seen this, is there anything that I could be forgetting here with the auto brake? Looks like auto brake is something that can fail. So maybe it has failed. Let me, let's check the QRH really quickly. See if they have a checklist for us for this. Landing gear. I don't think they do. I think we're just kind of screwed, guys and gals. I think we just don't have, because I do not have all the checklists for everything. So I think we just have, I don't think we have auto brakes. It's just going to be manual braking, so. Duly noted. Alright, well, let's continue. I have no way to look at MELs or any of that. has not been provided. Look out. Crazy fuel truck just went right in front of us. All right, here we go. We're clear left. All right. Make sure our tiller wheel is working correctly. There we go. All right, we're off to Winnipeg. Using a little bit of differential thrust and differential braking. So Mad Dog actually has a pretty good turning radius considering how large it is. Alright, looking good. Alright, we'll continue our taxi as brief then. I'll make a call on the radio. Minneapolis International Traffic Riptide 5800 MD-88 taxiing from General Aviation Parking to runway 12 right via Whiskey 6 Whiskey 10 Minneapolis. Alright. Cool thing here, you can see the leaves are changing with the Accu season add-on and scenery here. Alright, so here's Whiskey 6, and we'll be making our next left turn onto Whiskey. We're clear to the right, clear to the left. And you can get a pretty good view of that freeware scenery from Minneapolis, St. Paul. It's on FlightSim.to, and it's done a pretty good job with the terminal. The developer continues to update that freeware scenery too, which is really nice. All right. So like I said, we have about 900 pounds toward our min fuel for takeoff, so we're looking good on that, even though we had that slight delay with the auto brake system. I honestly wonder if we popped a circuit breaker back behind me, but I'll check with Jason, see if he has QRH or something for the MEL for deferring auto brake. But we'd already released the brakes, so we're pretty much, that means we're technically in flight now, so here we go. Alright, we're cleared across 4, clear left, clear right. Here we go. Minneapolis, St. Paul traffic, Riptide 5800, cross runway 4 at Whiskey. Minneapolis. I'm trying to get all the lights on. There we go. Oh, looks like anti-skid. We have an anti-skid problem I see now up there on the... That's a problem. Can't. Alright. We're gonna deal with, we have to deal with that before we take off. That's probably why the brakes are not setting now, is we have an anti-skid issue. Hopefully we can get that dealt with sooner rather than later, because that is serious. Alright, so we're just gonna we're gonna stop right here. I don't think we're blocking anybody. I'm gonna get away from this exit off the runway, but just gonna pull forward just a bit. We're gonna stop. Look at the windsock. You can see it is pretty much fully out. We have a pretty good crosswind. I'm gonna stop us right here. Set the parking brake. Turn off the taxi light. Nose light. Okay, so we have an anti-skid issue, which is not good. Anti-skid. Well, there's the problem. that switch was left in the test position, so that would be the issue. So that is resolved. Now let's try to set. All right, there we go. Perfect. That's why we do our checks, and that's why we look at. You just kind of scan everything, you know, as you're taxiing, because. There we go. Perfect. Minneapolis, same ball traffic. Riptide 5800 is clear runway 4 Whiskey. Continuing taxi to 12 right. Minneapolis. All right, so we are good now. Yeah, that switch got flipped down in the test position and left there. So that would do it. So now we know. I don't think I've done that one before. Alright, we're getting close to the end, so I'm going to go ahead and, before we get to this hot spot up ahead, I'm going to go ahead and get our ignition back on, do our takeoff config check, thrust levers forward, that's all good, and I think we're all set. Let's do the before takeoff check. Takeoff config checked, ignition selector A, altimeters are set, and ABS spoilers armed. For takeoff check complete. Whiskey 10 is going to be our turn. Looks like final's clear. I don't see anyone. I don't hear anyone. And we're just going to initially flying runway heading, which is going to be 121. Since we don't have an assigned heading due to ATC being off. Alright, 12 right is verified on sign. Here we go. Minneapolis international traffic. Riptide 5800 taking off runway 12 right, departing to the northwest. Minneapolis. Alright, let's get all our lights on. Alright. 12 right is verified on the pavement, and we should be getting a 121 heading. Altimeters all look good. Here we go. I have the flight controls. Alright, looking for 1.4 on the EPERS, then we'll arm the auto throttles, and there we go, and toga. Set thrust. Thrust set. Feel that wind, 80 knots, check. Decent amount of crosswind connection in. You on rotate, here we go. Positive rate, gear up. You can see our rats at 12C, so plenty warm. Alright, heading mode. Climb thrust. VNav. And we're gonna make a right turn. .360. Flaps 0. Oh, it's trying to make me turn the other way. Right hand turn. And we can continue our climb now since ATC's off. Let's hit VNav again. Went up to 340. 340 is set. I've just got to get this And we hit nav. Flaps up. We're at clean maneuvering speed. Now we can do our 30 degrees. There we are.
Minneapolis traffic, United 647.
Autopilot on.
Tree arrival. For ILS 212 right, Minneapolis.
Alright, let's do our after takeoff. I want to turn off the track IR for a second. It'll just make it a little easier, I think, for me to do this. There we go. Over the FO seat. It's a lot easier to do some of these other cleanup items. The flap, dial a flap, fix, turn off our pumps, get the art back. Oh yeah, we're up above the worst of it now. No, we don't need the ignition for right this second. Alright, and we need to go direct to GEP. So let's put that in, execute, and there we go. There's 10,000. We'll give them the bells. And our rat's still at 8C, so we're looking good. Jason is back. Welcome back aboard. I'm actually going to hop on the in our Discord, the live stream, so if anybody wants to hop in, we're above 10,000 feet now, so I'll be on there. We're just gonna keep watching this rat. It's still at 10, so we don't even need the anti-ice yet. Working out pretty well. Autopilot is aggressively getting back to our course here. That's fine. That's perfectly fine.
Stabilizer motion.
Alright, so it looks like Jason has hopped aboard here. How are you doing, Jason?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now, yeah.
How you doing?
Doing well. We're just, I don't know, Minneapolis has been a fun place to fly into and out of the last 24 hours. I'll say that the weather was pretty crazy last night. I think I landed about, it was sometime in the wee hours of the morning, and it was like a 25-30 knot crosswind and pouring rain. It was fun. I was like, I should have, wish I'd had that one on film.
Yeah, welcome to. We're waiting to get into Canada in the winter time.
Yeah, I'm excited. Gotta say.
Yeah, that's a lot.
I remember you had some
That's
exciting things last year.
Oh yeah, lots of weather. I remember Vancouver was crappy. It was like a quarter-mile visibility. It was wild. It should be fun though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good when you have that kind of weather. There's a nasty low-pressure system probably right around. Well, yesterday was probably right over Minneapolis.
Yeah, it was.
Right?
It was crazy.
Close.
Because
Yeah.
the weather just kept deteriorating all day, it seemed. And then I think it's just now kind of improved. But I saw in real life today this flight was delayed. They got out, pretty close on time, but the weather is pretty bad for them, I think.
Yeah. So they're going up to Winnipeg.
Yeah, playing the Jets after a tough. I think they lost 2-0 to the Wild the other night.
All
So,
right. Okay.
But it's the first
So then
game
they
of the
go to
season.
play Jersey. Right.
Yep, in Jersey.
So you said you're going to Newark and then home.
It's kind of it's tough. It's a tough road trip to start the season with, but maybe it'll help the team bond. Who knows? Right, there's 180. Let's get these lights off. 8 cars will write you up pretty quickly. Right,
Yeah.
Jason? It is not lenient at all.
No, it's like the Gestapo sitting there. I'm writing you a ticket.
But it's fun.
Yeah. What the heck is our landscape? So what? So you got Newark, you got the Devils, and then you're back. Like
Yep.
in midweek or what? Okay.
Yeah, back. And I think hopefully they have a little bit of a home schedule for a bit. Hope for their sake that they do. Let's see. I'm looking at my schedule right now. Yeah, looks like the Panthers don't fly out again until the end of the month. So they head up to Boston on the 29th of
Nice.
October. So, but I'll just be flying
Okay.
an Inter Miami charter for their final game of the year since they did not qualify for the playoffs.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
even with Messi. But see, Leo Messi was injured when he was playing with Argentina, and get some ATS on. He was injured playing with Argentina, and then he didn't play a lot of games for Inter Miami, and then he played in the last game, but it was too late. They were eliminated.
Yeah.
So
There goes that. So we'll have an extra airplane sitting around. That's good.
yep.
Yeah.
And I think next year
That
they
was
will
the
be a
spring.
team to watch out for because they're going to have a full off season for the guys to all get used to playing with each other. And I think the owners are going to be purchasing some more players. I don't know how they get it to
Yeah.
work within the salary cap rules, but yeah, who knows?
Yeah. Well, that's good. Yeah, you did a lot of flying.
But
Uh-huh.
it sounded like you had
How's
a
that
fun.
airplane doing?
I'm sorry?
Yeah, it was weird. I mean, I took off out of there, and then it was doing something stupid. You know, I throw it on nav, and it like I was gonna keep turning, and I wasn't on a vector. So I'm going, what in the world? And I think sometimes flying with FS2 crew, it almost messes you up
Oh, I can imagine. Yeah.
even more than like if I was just doing single. It's a little easier to fly almost.
Right.
You're busier, I guess, but you don't have to worry about, okay, what did you didn't do, what you do. Did you engage it or not? Like I said, nav, I look at the FMA and it's not hooked up. So it's weird. I don't know.
And Cliff does all sorts of weird things, unpredictable things.
Yeah.
Keeps you on your
Yeah.
toes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I mean, what's that?
I was just laughing about Cliff.
I don't know around here. I mean, sometimes I'm thinking, is it even worth it?
Right.
You know?
I mean, it's just like
Should I
flying
take
with
the extra?
flying with a new or a crazy FO. All right, center fuel
Oh,
tank
man.
is down. Let's turn those center pumps off. There we go.
You should see the next flight I got to do on Friday. Oh my gosh.
Is that the one to Seattle?
Yeah.
Is it White Plains to Seattle?
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's a long one.
Yeah. No. It's not pretty cool. It's a long flight. And that's going to be what? 5.5, 6 hours? What do you think it is?
I mean, it might be time for your season preview of the NHL. You can give your take on all the teams. You'll have plenty of time.
Oh yeah. That's so true. How are we gonna eat up 6 hours?
The
of
Coastal
cruise?
Airways NHL special. I mean, honestly, yeah, I'll try to check in, watch.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to take off at like 4 my time.
Oh yeah, because that'll probably be what
Yeah,
a
I take off.
5-hour flight.
Oh, easily. With the headwinds? Oh, man.
Yeah, you just gotta hope the winds are light. Thankfully, we're not in. Let's see here. I think it might be above the clouds now. Yeah, I'm gonna turn the anti-ice off.
Well, the only thing is I can't see your stream now.
Oh yeah, being in the.
Yeah.
I guess you have to like mute it.
I wonder if I could. Hang on, let me see something.
Because it'll probably, I guess it'll always play everything delayed by a few seconds, right?
Yeah, it's kind of weird like that.
I know
Let me
I've
see if
done
I can
that with
just-
your stream when we all hopped on. I think I just muted it and stayed in the Discord audio. But there's not too much going on right now. Just
Yeah, it was cruising. How long is what's left?
oh, it's only like an hour. It's a short one.
Yeah, that's pretty quick.
The long one was last night on this trip, Fort Lauderdale to Minneapolis, and then the rest of them are shorter than that one. So
Buddy, it's all long out of Lauderdale. I learned that last year. Every flight out of Lauderdale is long.
oh, I know it is the most out of the way. I'm like,
Yeah.
if you're playing for a Miami team, you're gonna be traveling more than a lot of people. So
Oh, yeah. And that's what, the second, that's what he said last year. They're the second most team that travels. I'm like, oh, great. I didn't want to sign up for that.
but it's cool. It's cool. I like it. Get a little extra flight
Yeah,
time.
that's cool. That's exactly right.
So
That's
you
good.
you had said in
Good
your
fun.
stream you were announcing a new aircraft.
Well, what we purchased 12.
Cause I had your stream playing in the background, but then I was trying to set. I was having some issues with like my. I got a new 4K monitor and it was doing weird things with the. But
That's the FS. Yeah.
but I didn't hear if you had announced the details of that aircraft announcement on your stream or not. So.
No, I mean just that we purchased.
Okay,
12.
sounds good. That's all. That's all. I'm just gonna leave it at that then. I heard you say it, and then I was like, maybe I was distracted and didn't hear the rest. So, well, that's exciting.
No, that's all I gave you.
Sounds good.
That's it.
That's
I'm
exciting.
trying to see. Let me see if I could. Where's the chat feature on this thing, man?
Oh, for
There we go. For you. Can you hear me, right?
yeah, I hear you just fine.
I'm trying to get it, so I'll show you here in a minute.
All right, so we did reach our top of climb. We have 17.9 in fuel. So we were planning to have 17.1, so we're about 800 pounds extra fuel. That's always a good thing. Unless you're
Great thing.
close to your max landing
On
weight.
fire. Not so good.
So that was one of the things I loved about, well, I guess it was one of the first trips that we had here at Coastal, the one where you go to LaGuardia to Bar Harbor.
Uh-huh.
It is really easy to be flirting with an overweight landing on those legs, especially with the tankering the fuel. Try to save money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I'll be honest, I get kind of lazy on these charter flights because you always have a ton of buffer
Yeah.
with the max landing weight, and then you go back to the line and it's like, oh wow, we're really heavy again. So you gotta watch it.
Yeah. Yeah, the charters are so. They're like, you're not even really worried about weights unless you're going far. But even then, you're not even close to your landing weight.
Yeah.
Not even close. I'm trying to get you a good picture. I think this is it.
It's pretty out there. There's a lot of clouds. It's gonna
Lots
get
of clouds.
it's gonna get white down there really soon too.
Uh-huh.
Won't be long.
All right, look in your chat.
I'll look into the chat on Discord.
Yeah,
Let
I
me
just
see.
private messaged you.
Oh, very cool. Very cool.
Give
Love
you a
it.
different look. Give you a different look here. Hang on.
Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Yeah, obviously a lot of exciting things happening here at Coastal, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Oh, wait till you see the other one we did. Holy smokes. There's that one. There's number 2. Well, different shot, same aircraft, just a different look. Nice job, isn't it?
I gotta say, yeah, this is, like, it will be worth tuning into the Flight Sim Broadcast Network to see this in the future. That is for sure. I can tell you, I've seen the sneak
pretty.
peek. If you're watching this later, it's worth checking out on Flight Sim Broadcasting Network in the future. So, it's a cool one.
We'll be making a t-shirt.
Oh, you have to. You have to.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Absolutely.
It's
Yeah,
phenomenal.
it is quiet this time of night up here though.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Especially heading up
There's
into
nothing going
Canada.
on.
There are not many people flying in Canada.
Yeah, I
Plus-
got to make sure my scenery's all tight because I got a Canadian run next week.
Oh, after you get to Seattle?
Yeah, we're going to do the Canadian run. So we go Seattle, Calgary, Edmonton, then, no. Calgary, then Vancouver, Edmonton, over across to Ottawa, Winnipeg, home.
Okay. Cool.
Seems like a 4 or 5 day run out there, out west. How do you like those shots?
Let me go see. Pull up the map. Maybe I can see where we're at. Let's see here. Oh, wow. I can reveal that in the picture it is snowy. That's all I'll say. May or may not have anything to do with the actual picture.
There you go.
I don't think I
more
gave
looks.
too much away by saying that.
No, I don't think you did. It will be a shirt.
Cool. Yeah, there's a lot of I don't know, there's been a lot of variety with the flying available at Coastal too, which has been fun.
Really different than your traditional virtual airline, right?
Yeah. And I still have not finished. I would really like to knock out all the Caribbean line trips because I was having a blast on that one. Like the trip that had Arthurstown on it and stuff. Those are some
Yeah.
fun legs.
Yeah.
I think I saw one of our other
though,
pilots was flying that one today. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh man, that's a good one. He seemed to be enjoying it too.
I mean, yeah, you're just busy. I mean, you're just, it's all the. That's fun because you're taking a 600 from Miami all the way down to Puerto Rico, and you're doing like multiple stops through that, through that 2.5, 3 hour flight.
Yeah.
You go to some podunk airport that nobody knows about in the Bahamas. That's cool.
There's like nothing to really help you land there, if I remember. It's just
Nope. Nope. You got nothing. It's just look out the window and land.
all right. So I
That's
pulled up our
cool.
weather at Winnipeg on the ACARS here. It's like winds are 010 at 4. My pen died on me. There we go. 010 at 4. 15 miles, clear sky, so it's nice.
Oh, Winnipeg is nice.
It's just, you can see here, temperature dew point spread is very minimal. So 2 degrees for the temperature, 1 for the dew point. So the forecast was saying it could get really, really foggy pretty suddenly. So there's that threat. And that's why we have the alternate. So, because the forecast was pretty marginal before we departed.
How do you mute this thing, you know?
What are you trying to do?
Mute YouTube on an iPad.
Does it not have the volume pull up on the lower right part of the screen, or
Yeah.
like if you? I don't know.
YouTube.
I don't know, man. I'm sorry.
It's weird. Hearing the echo. Not good. No bueno.
So, from one hockey fan to another, I did see that the Nashville Predators and Rangers are playing each other soon.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I'm flying with DNA a couple weeks.
I think they're playing in New York. Maybe even next
Okay,
week.
then,
It might be
okay.
next week actually.
It's probably, yeah. Well,
So
they're probably home for a few days.
let me look it up really quickly. But yeah, that'll be a interesting match, especially since Laviolette's the coach at the Rangers now, right?
Yeah. How the Preds doing? They win?
They're doing well actually. Like they're doing better than I expected them to. I mean, it's the first. They've had 2 games. They lost their first game to the Lightning. They had so they opened up horrible first period. Lightning outshot them like 20-5 or something. But then an excellent second period, tied it up, took the lead early in the third. But then the Nashville ended up in the penalty box, and the Lightning have a very dangerous power play, and so they ended up knocking in 2 goals, and then they got an empty netter at the end, and they won it.
Yes.
And then the Nashville shut out Seattle last night, beat them 3-0 in Nashville. So that was
Oh,
Coach
wow.
Andrew Burnett's first home game as a coach in Nashville, got a win, and he was the first player to ever score a goal for the Nashville Predators in their inaugural season 25 years ago. And now he's coach, and the head coach at the time is now the GM, Barry Trotz. So it's kind of a, I don't know, it's a cool time to be a Nashville fan.
Yeah, it is. Trotz is great too.
Yeah.
I remember he moved to Nashville.
I don't think he ever sold his house in Nashville. There's something like that. Like it seemed like he was always kind of planning on coming back, and maybe not for
that's his
hockey,
roots.
but yeah. And I think I had
For
heard he's
Tyler.
from the Winnipeg area, where we're flying
Yeah.
right now. So, because I know they kept trying to get him to go up there, but he's back in Nashville.
I'm going there, February?
Well, maybe we can go to a game. They have a game when you're here.
I'm trying. Yeah, we'll see.
They're a lot
See
of
if it works out.
they're a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, good stuff.
And it's usually, I don't know, I have not been to a game since before COVID, but I know before COVID, the games were always packed and just loud. But that was right after the Stanley Cup run, and But it seemed like
Right.
it was pretty full last night from what I could see on TV, except for it's like the really expensive seats. I don't know if people have season tickets down there and they just don't show up, you know? Because I saw like
Oh yeah, of course.
some of the really expensive seats were kind of empty, like here and there, but then all the rest of the arena was packed.
Yeah, it's probably the corporate seating. They give seats to their,
Right.
their customers or whatever.
Oh, now we got a little bit of a view of the. Let's see. Yeah, we're just about to get to Fargo. Fargo, North Dakota. There it is. I guess it's still probably nice out there. It's about to get really cold for the winter. I've only been in that area in the summer. Like, I went to tour UND, and I went there in July, which was the perfect time to go.
Yeah, of course.
And they were very upfront that they're like, now it's a little rougher in the winter, but I was like, we have hockey. I was like, yes, that's a plus. And a beautiful arena too.
Yeah.
And they're a good aviation school. They're going into that field. But I did not go to school there. But it was mostly just because it was going to be really cold. That's about it.
It's freezing. It's freezing. It's super cold over there, though.
There were other reasons too, but yeah.
Yeah. Did you see the Lego Concorde?
Yes.
Did you see how big this thing is?
I have not seen how large it is. I saw a picture of it. It looked
huge.
Amazing.
It's broken though. It's the only problem is it's broken.
What, the kit is?
The whole Lego thing, it was just broken.
Huh.
Have you seen this thing? It's defective, even out of the box. Got the word Airbus on it.
Did you purchase it?
No, but it's got the word Airbus on it.
On the Concorde?
Yes.
Why?
I don't know. Crap.
Well, there's Fargo.
Airbus. I'm gonna have to throw a jab at Airbus.
Right there.
I saw it today. It was...
That's messed up. So is Airbus on it?
It says Airbus on the box.
Huh.
Yeah. Maybe they helped them build it. I don't know. Couldn't tell you. 3-6. Yeah, we're gonna land. I just bought mine. Are you getting ready to land?
No, I'm just setting up the performance, so I can definitely listen. Sorry, I was trying to see what runway I was gonna land on. It's my first time to Winnipeg, so I'm not familiar with the airport. So I'm just,
Yeah, it's always a good idea to. I just remember landing and shut the anti-fog, and it was like it just
iced right up.
Just iced up. Yeah,
I think I was watching your stream when that happens. Yeah.
It was like, this is cold. It's negative 32.
Wow.
Negative 32 on the ramp. That's cold.
Yeah, that is insanely cold. Let's see, 13.9 on the fuel when we get there.
Oh, you got plenty of gas.
Oh yeah, we'll be tankering some back to the Newark, looks like.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what the fuel prices are like in Canada, but I would imagine they're pricier than the US. I don't know though.
Their fuel is cheaper, but their fees are insane.
Okay.
So if that makes any sense, their landing fees and airport fees and taxes are insane, but their fuel prices are comparable.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
At least it's not both out of the, you know, completely crazy. Let's see. Alright, so it looks like our VREF's going to be 131 at flaps 40. And slight winds, thankfully, so the approach will be at 136. Cool. 50, 200 feet of runway. We have 11,000 feet available, so plenty of runway.
Yeah.
Plenty of runway. And let's see here. I think that's surely it's ILS to 36. Oh yeah.
I'm getting tired, my man.
You getting tired? It's hitting you now.
I'm getting tired. It's hitting me now.
Yeah, I was looking outside the aircraft and it reminded me of one of your photos from last year where you had that insanely long flight from Fort Lauderdale to Edmonton. Is that what it was?
I don't remember that.
Took like half the day.
Gosh. Yeah, it was insane. What was that, 6 hours or something stupid? Oh, gosh. What the heck?
Yeah, if we could ever get shared cockpit or your controls for the Mad Dog, we could just trade, you know, you get multi-crew on that flight,
dude,
just trade off. All
dude,
right, your
awesome
controls, your controls.
Yo, I would love it.
Yeah, this airplane would be a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
With both of us. Oh, I agree. A shared cockpit with that airplane would be sweet. Are you kidding me? I could fire Cliff. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, Cliff is right for a firing. That's for sure.
I think so. And it's hard because, like, I wanted to do a sting engine taxi, and it's like, if I do it, I'm gonna mess up the sequence, and make sure I get the sequence back on, or else it's, you know, FS2 crew doesn't recover that well. So, yeah, it would be awesome to do shared cockpit. I wish somebody would do that for this airplane.
Yeah, I'm kind of shocked they don't have this. There must be something with the way it's programmed that makes it a little more difficult.
Yeah,
I don't know,
maybe.
but it is definitely a neat airplane. Alright, well, I need to throw in the... It's going to be ILS Zulu to 36. Boom. Let's see, does it go off of the... Looks like it goes to... Knoxa? Yeah, it's not going to do it. Let's see here. Cool. Alright, so we'll leave that. We're still going to Jamal. I'm going to execute that. I'll check all of this. Alright. So, I'm just going to brief it up really quickly before we hit our top of descent. So Winnipeg, like I said, it's pretty nice weather right now. Winds 0104, 15 miles visibility clear. Temperature dew point is 2 and 1, so that's the threat, is that fog might settle in. So we'll set up for the ILS. 3032 will be the altimeter setting. On the Pepno 3 arrival. Pepno 3. So Doing good to pull up here. There it is. So we're heading to Litna first. So we have Litna, and then it's Kenby. Land 36, max 250 knots, below 11,000 feet. Pepno, and then Noxum, max 190 at or above 3,000. Vittel, and runway 36. So that's going to be on the ILS, which I have to pull it up on my Navigraph app, or the window in Flight Sim. I have it pulled up on my Surface tablet, but gotta do it on both. Alright, so for the ILS, it's James Armstrong Richardson International, 9th June 23, 11-3, ILS Zulu, runway 36. 109.9 is the localizer frequency set both sides. 005 is the final approach course set. The glide slope at middle, we should be at 2110. DA is 978, have that set with a rail altimeter. DH is set to 200. That matches me at half a mile visibility at 15. Airport elevation 784. We do have the pressurization set up. MSA is 2,900 feet around the Yankee Whiskey India DME, just basically on the airport. And the note, safe altitude within 100 nautical miles, 3,800 feet. Localizer reliable only within 10 degrees either side of center line. Okay. And they still have the flight 180 is going to be our transition altitude going into Canada, which is nice. Highest obstacle is a tower 1,849 feet out to the west of the localizer. The vectors onto the localizer. We're basically going to be lined up when we get to Noxum. Be straight in from there. Went into Vittel, we should be 2110 is what we're expecting on the glide slope. Missed approach, come to 3,000, 005 heading, and expect vectors. And we'll probably just move vectors back around to the localizer. If it's VNC conditions, just do left traffic back around at, what would that be, 2,300 feet for the pattern altitude. Alps 2 lighting. If we get to land, Sean said we're landing at, oh, I can't remember the name of the FBO, but it's down here, this part of the field. So we land 36, right hand turn off at Quebec or at the end, then it's Tango, Foxtrot, Hotel, Charlie to cross 3-1, and into the parking. Speeds are set, plenty of runway, and I need to set the altitude window to 3,000 feet. That's all I got. Let's do it.
Yeah, well, guess what, brother?
You heading to bed?
I'm fading.
I
I'm
hear
tapping
ya.
out. I'm tired.
Well, thanks for hopping up here. I'll
Okay, man, a little safe trip in there.
Yeah, I'm gonna put your jump seat away.
Yeah,
Let you go. Let you go to the back and
go
sleep.
in the back.
Yeah, no sleeping up here.
No, I'll be sleeping on the couch back there.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. All right.
All right, my man.
Well, have a good night,
See you
Jason.
tomorrow.
See ya.
All right, brother. Talk to you later. Bye.
All right. So we are just prior to our top of descent now. It's showing just 16 nautical miles, so that's not going to take long at all. And we'll be down the chute as we just briefed. You can see it's definitely flat down there below us. We'll pull up the overview map. You'll see where we are exactly. That's always fun to see if we're in Canada yet. Looks like we just crossed over Grand Forks. So that would be where the University of North Dakota is. Yep, right back behind us, University of North Dakota. A beautiful area though, you get to go in the summer. The time I got to go, I was mentioning to Jason, they had an aviation camp there for high school students, and it was a lot of fun. And we actually got to take a bus trip up to Winnipeg International Airport and tour Air Canada's maintenance facility at Winnipeg, which was neat. And but if you're interested in aviation, you're interested in going into the collegiate aviation route, I would say that I don't know if University of North Dakota still offers that summer aviation camp, but it's a great way to get to experience the campus just a little bit, learn more about their aviation program, and also get to do a lot of fun stuff and learn some things about the different career paths you can take in professional aviation. So I'd highly recommend the University of North Dakota's summer aviation camp for high school students. I think it was only about a week long, if I remember correctly, but I just used that as one of my college visits a couple decades ago now. So, but it was a beautiful place, especially in the summer. All right, there's our top of descent. We are now beginning the descent down into Winnipeg. So here we go. We'll check, make sure we have our fuel where we need it as we get to HML, which I want to see what that VOR is actually called. I want to say Hamilton, but I do not know. So let's see. Change this to IFR high, that should tell us. Humboldt. So now we know. Alright, but we're not too far away now. This was not a very long flight. The next flight we have on this charter trip with Florida Panthers is from Winnipeg to Newark. So I will be operating that, planning to operate that Sunday night. But if I am going to stream it, I will make sure to post or have it up here on the YouTube channel at least an hour prior to the stream. So it'd be about 11 p.m. at night if I do stream it, but I might try to put up the placeholder sooner. But typically I'll stream on Friday nights if I do stream. So I appreciate those of you that did hop on live. It's been great having you on here. Those of you that watch it after the fact, great to have you on board. This is one of the full flight streams I do. And I'd like to get back to making some other content too. I just been pretty busy with other things in life. But certainly appreciate each of you that hop in and have been watching some of the older videos I made in the past, and also some of these newer ones that come out. I do want to do a shout out really quickly for those of you who are hopping, or might still be on or watch later, for the World Flight. That's a charity event that's coming up soon. Actually in just a few weeks. And I have the privilege of being a part of one of the World Flight teams. And we're actually going to be operating out of Southern California. It's a Fly with Rookies simulator here. I'll show you really quickly the website. If you go to flywithrookie.com, you can see all about the simulator. Also the charity we're going to be flying for, which is we will be raising money for the Orbis Flying Eye Hospital. There will be other teams flying all over the world at the same time. We fly from Sydney all the way around the world to multiple stops over the course of a week, and then back to Sydney with 7 days later. So you can see we have quite a few team members here that are popping up on the screen. But please, if you are around that week, be sure to hop on to the YouTube channel for our team. It's Team SoCal, and you can donate to Orbis Flying Eye Hospital on the stream, or you can even follow along on your sim through VATSIM. There'll be full ATC coverage for anyone that wants to participate, and certainly would appreciate your support as we go into that event coming up. Quite a few big names on here, like Jeff Aviano, Midnight Maverick, Captain Canada, Captain Geo, Civ Ryan, quite a few big blue. Quite a few of the flight sim streamers are part of the team, but also quite a few real world pilots and other aviation enthusiasts. So definitely come be a part of it. Love to have you on board. I'll try to put out some more info about it on my Instagram page, and I might even have a special stream just to try to help raise awareness about this great event. And there are also other teams that participate and raise money for other charities. I'd encourage you just to tune in and support, even if you don't give monetarily, just to be there. Helps to encourage each of us as we're flying around the clock. So love the encouragement. And if you feel led, for Team SoCal, we're raising money for the Orbis Flying Eye Hospital, which basically it's a DC-10 that flies around the world and has been set up to do eye procedures to help people with cataracts or other eye issues so that they can see and don't go blind when it would be preventable. So a really good cause. They also train doctors on the aircraft. They have a classroom area to train doctors in other parts of the world on the latest techniques to help people keep their eyesight, which is a really important thing. Alright, we're coming through flight 180 now, so it's going to be 3032 on the altimeters. Go ahead and get that set. And let's get our lights on. Got a few other flow items to do here. I don't want the wing lights out quite yet. These lights on. Logo light comes on. We get the hydraulic pumps back on. I don't think I did not turn the engine sync on, so we don't have to worry about that. Yep, it's still off. Perfect. Let's do the set check. Engine sync off. Pressurization is set checked. Hydraulics on high. Altimeters 3032 cross checked. And landing data and airspeed bugs set. Descent check complete. Alright. And you can see up ahead it's definitely not, doesn't look like it's clear. That temperature dew point spread was a real threat that we did talk about on the brief, but there's a pretty high probability it could be foggy as we come in here, which I'm actually going to pull up the latest METAR reports on my iPhone here, which I could do it on the ACARs and the aircraft. Obviously I wouldn't be using an iPhone in a real plane, but looks like the visibility is, as of 26 minutes ago, is still holding at 15 statute miles, which that's good. But like I said, later on they are forecasting that visibility to drop down. Alrighty. See, I'll reduce our range. I don't think we need the radar anymore, so I'm gonna switch over to terrain mode. That's the larger threat. No thunderstorms, obviously, tonight. Because it is the wee hours of the morning up in Winnipeg with this real world weather. We just happen to be flying during the day, time-wise in the sim, because this is when the actual charter flight operated today for the Florida Panthers. All right. Get a little quick view out the window. It's beautiful countryside, though, as you can see out the window. Trees are changing colors. Which, if you don't already have Accu season, looks like we need some drag on with the flight spoilers out. Speed brake out. Help us slow down here. So now we have a max of 250 knots at Kenby. We gotta be at or below 11,000 feet. So there we go. Looking good. And once we get to Kenby, looks like we'll start our descent again. There it goes. I'm going to throw these wing landing lights out now to just give us a little extra drag. And then the next speed restriction we're going to have is at Knoxham. Max of 190 knots. It should be a fun approach. I'm going to try to film it if I can. I'm going to try the Sky Caddy thing. If I can get it to work. Or Sky Dolly, I think it's called. Not Sky Caddy. I'll call it Sky Caddy. I've been playing too much of that PGA Tour golf game. But I'll try to remember to start the Sky Dolly and record the landing. There's 10,000 feet, so we have stereo cockpit now. So here we go. Like we said, our bingo fuel, if it is super foggy, we gotta head to the alternate when we get to 10,000 pounds of total fuel. So we'll keep that in mind. That's just in case it starts getting really foggy down there. It's good to at least have that number in mind before you get low to the ground and get really busy. It's one less thing you gotta think about. So I'm gonna scratch that 10,000 down on my scratch pad here on my yoke. For the bingo fuel to head out to our alternate if we need to, just in case. And Winnipeg International traffic, Riptide 5800 MD-88, 25 miles south inbound, ILS 36, Winnipeg. You know, sometimes I've seen Winnipeg will have a controller on pretty late at night, so. Wow, it is pretty though, these colors on the fields. Alright, our rat is still showing at 9 degrees Celsius, so we do not need the anti-ice. That's good. And I'm actually going to go ahead and throw in, let's go to flaps 1. Or flaps 0, I mean. I'm flying the 7.3 too much. Those we're going to have to slow to 190 by the time we get to Nexam. Trying to look and see if I can see the airport quite yet. It's going to be somewhere. Can't quite make it out. So when you go to Canada, you always have to Make sure you follow the speeds and the altitude restrictions on these arrivals. Alright, let's see if we're getting the localizer. Yeah. I'll pull it up here so y'all can see too. Up. Yep, that is the localizer. It's identified. Let's go flaps 5. We'll switch our 15 degrees there for the bank angle limiter. The arm loc mode. Flaps 15. Gear down. We're slowing all the way to 190. Float capture, and we'll switch on ILS. Light slope capture. Here we go. Down the chutes. Now let's slow it on back to our approach speed of 136. Alright, 136. Let's go flaps 28. And once we get to 160, we can go flaps 40. Alright, flaps 40. You can see it's starting to get a little hazy out there, but arm our speed brake, arm our and we'll get some ignition on. Alright, before landing, check landing gears down 3 green, ignition A set, spoilers and ABS are armed and medium, and flaps and slats 40 set. Before landing, check complete. I'm going to turn on the track IR for the landing here. Alright, here we go. Yeah, getting a little hazy. Good thing we're getting in here now. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off the autopilot, turn off the auto throttle, and it's just manual control from here. Just about 2 knots slow, accelerating. Winnipeg International Traffic Group, TAP 5800, short final runway 36, Winnipeg. Wow, look at those beautiful fall colors down below. I don't know that we'll get to come back to Winnipeg this year, but unless it's the Stanley Cup Finals, but it's nice to get to come in the fall. I think it's still VMC conditions, so if we do go miss, we'll just do a, we'll climb up to 2,300 feet, make left traffic back around for runway 36.
1,000.
Alright, speed is 136, sync 700. Oops, getting a little choppy. I don't know if part of that might be because I'm streaming. Oh man. Hang in there, computer. I do have, I think it's MS Scenery Builders.
Light slope.
Flying up.
Light slope.
Flying up.
Terrain. Light slope. Light
We're
slope.
about 3/4 of a dot low. I'm flying up.
500. 300.
Part of it's this choppiness of the
Minimums.
visual.
Minimums.
Oh yeah, it's gonna get foggy here. You can see it.
Good 40. 30. 20. 10.
Wow, that is really choppy. Alright, reverse throttle, spoilers out. I'm just gonna turn off this there's 90 knots. 80 knots. Coming up on the brakes manually. And we'll take this next right turn. Head to our FBO. Alright, clear right. Now it's working fine. It's just that approach. It was just got really choppy on me. And Winnipeg International Traffic, grip type 5800, clear runway 36, Papa, taxiing Papa, Foxtrot, Hotel Charlie to parking. Winnipeg. Alright, after landing. Turn off the car for just a minute. We'll get the APU started. Yeah, I don't think the visibility is at 15 miles anymore. You can see, look at that. It is really coming down. Let me turn off these identifiers here. There. Alright, so that is Kilo. Where's that? That's Hotel. Alright, I need to take a right turn here. Just didn't see a sign. I know they're coming out with a new Winnipeg scenery here pretty soon. Sean, how's it going? Cool to see you streaming again. Thanks, Sean. Yeah, I'm glad to be getting to do this tonight. Definitely want to get back into streaming. It's just, as I was saying earlier, just have a lot going on in life right now. So a lot of times when I do my flight simming, it's kind of spur of the moment, last second stuff. And so don't always have time to set up a stream, but glad to be on here tonight. I'll try to stream a little more often if I can. I enjoy streaming. Alright, this is Hotel. So yeah, this is, Sean, this is that MSFS Scenery Builders version of Winnipeg, and it's fine. I mean, it's nothing. I think I'm definitely going to get the newest scenery when it comes out here in the next few weeks, I think is what they said for Winnipeg, but and I was not able to actually get a parking spot in at the FBO that we're parking at, Sean. Like I couldn't set up a GSX profile there, so I'm gonna just taxi there and park, but then I'll have to set something up to be able to park there for leaving here on Sunday night, heading out to Newark. Alright, so we're just going to continue down Hotel for a while. That's going to be a right turn on Charlie. And here, let's turn this off. Let's also get our cross feeds open. There we go. Plane is moving now. I'm I'm going to leave both engines running for now just because I'm unfamiliar with the parking area. And one of the reasons for that too is if you have both engines running, then and you got to make a sharp turn or something, then you won't have to use as much thrust on that single engine. So a lot of times if it's a tight area you're going into and you're flying a turbine aircraft like a large transport category jet aircraft, it's usually safer to just leave both engines running so that you don't have to create a lot of jet blast, because you can do a lot of damage. You can injure people, you can shatter windows. It's incredible what can be done, and you don't even realize it up in the flight deck until someone calls you or the chief pilot gives you a call into his office later and says, hey, you destroyed this jet bridge. What were you doing? All right, we're crossing 3-1. Clear cross, clear left, and clear right. Winnipeg traffic, riptide, 5800 crossing runway 31 at Charlie. Winnipeg. The lights on. But yeah, so that is my reasoning for leaving both engines running for now. I know it's going to burn a little extra fuel, but I am unfamiliar with this parking area. Just want to be on the safe side. And Winnipeg traffic, riptide 5800, clear runway 31 at Charlie. Continuing taxi to parking via Charlie. Winnipeg. Alright. Alright, this is our parking right over here. It's the second building. So I'm just gonna flip this thing around here. We'll do a 180. Hug the left side here, and then we're just gonna swing the nose all the way back around so the hockey team will be able to walk straight to the building and get out. Oh, you're saying you based it on last year where they arrived to the FBO and departed from it. Okay, cool. No, sounds good. Yeah, so if they depart from a gate, then, yeah, I didn't look at the paperwork closely enough for the next leg. I'll have to check that out, but that would be good. I mean, there's a way to make it work with GSX. You know, you can just move you can tie GSX to a certain parking spot that's already there. Sorry, I'm doing a crazy differential thrust, differential braking turn here. Let me turn on I'm just gonna park it right here. Alright, here we are. Welcome to Winnipeg, Florida Panthers. I hope you guys can get the win, especially because I'm a Predators fan and I don't want Winnipeg to win because they're in our division. So, alright, let's shut it down here. The APU is running. Let's check to make sure we got good voltage and frequencies on the APU. We do. Excellent. So, get the air on. Let's shut them down. Seatbelts on, turn off pumps here, got that off, on. Just gotta wait on the engines to spool down a bit before we get the beacon off, or we will get clobbered by the ACARS reporting system. Alright, looks like we're good now. Let's turn off the beacon. Alright, parking check, parking brake set, flaps, slats up, lights out, fuel levers off, hydraulics are on, beacon off, oil and hydraulic quantity is checked. Parking check complete. And I don't believe I'll be able to do any sort of GSX deplaning, but I can do it here in the EFB, I believe. So let me see if I can request a GPU. Yep. Air conditioning. and I don't think it didn't board here in the, so I'll just simulate that everybody's getting off the airplane. Cool. Well, Sean, thanks for checking in. And you said the Panthers did arrive at the FBO today too. Okay, cool. And so I'll check on your paperwork, and we can chat about if they leave from a gate again when they head out for Newark after they play Winnipeg, which I believe they play them in the afternoon tomorrow, afternoon or evening. But well, very cool. Well, thanks again, everyone, for tuning in here. It's been a pleasure having you on board. I certainly had a wonderful time getting to stream again on this flight. Coastal Airways has a lot of cool stuff going on. Be sure to check out flycoastalairways.com. Also, the Flight Sim Broadcasting Network. Jason's our CEO. He does a lot of coastal streams, and I believe he does a lot of the charter flights for the New York Rangers that we're operating this year. So be sure to check his channel out. And see, I'm ending my flight and filing it, and that's the last thing I need to do, and I'm going to be signing off here. So for now, VREF Simmer signing off. Thanks for being on board. I'll close it out with some music and also a brief little tour and walk around of this airport. Thanks again for being here. I'll see you again soon.